watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight for DC News Now at 9 o'clock. I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Susan Trent in for Thusmeen Mahfouz. Let us get started with this weekend forecast as we are keeping an eye on a possible winter storm.
That's right. David Matson in tonight for Janessa. And next 2 days look okay, but Saturday, that's the day we're targeting.
Exactly. And we're going to have the next 2 days to gear up for this storm system and hone in on exactly what it's going to bring to the DMV. General picture, though, starting to become a lot more clear. Now, first and foremost, I do have to talk about this weather we had today. Not too bad here as we try to, again, enjoy this quiet weather while we have it. Temperatures reached up into the middle and upper 40s this afternoon with some sunshine out there before the clouds did roll in, and it is starting to turn a little bit chilly out there with temperatures mainly in the 30s, though DC is holding strong right now at 42 degrees as a blanket of clouds is going to keep us a little bit warmer overnight tonight going into your Thursday morning as compared to what we had to start out the day today when we were down in the 20s across portions of the region. Not going to be the case early tomorrow morning. Getting the kids ready to head out to the bus stop or just getting ready for your day in general. You will still need a little bit of a jacket to stay warm, of course, but we are not going to see those 20s as much so tomorrow as we stay generally in the 30s before the clouds clear out going into the later afternoon hours on Thursday. Now, here we are with Saturday's storm system. Everything is still on the table as this is going to be a very messy system, bringing snow to some of our western counties with a mix. The more you go off to the east, transitioning over to just plain rain. And it does not matter where you're located across the DMV, folks, whether you see rain or an accumulating snowfall, it is going to be impactful. And if you can help it, you're going to want to stay inside on Saturday. But we'll talk exact timing and possible impacts from this storm system. What's the latest you can expect as we head towards Saturday? That's all coming up in your full forecast here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thanks. We'll see you then. Well, you remember this? Of course you do. It's been 2 years now since a 24-hour travel nightmare in I-95 in Virginia. On this day back in 2022, a snowstorm trapped hundreds of drivers for more than a day. People trying to conserve gas were left in the cold. Many had no food or water. One notable driver stuck in that mess, Virginia Senator Tim Kaine. He was on his way to D.C., landed in traffic for more than 20 hours. Now, since that incident, state agencies have worked on better communication and other strategies to make sure something like this never happens again. And now, with the potential for a winter storm in the forecast, the Virginia Department of Transportation is pre-treating a long stretch of 95. So starting tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, slow-moving equipment will spray a solution that will help melt ice and snow. Drivers from Prince William to Caroline County are being asked not to pass these trucks and expect delays.
All new at 9, a Montgomery County oral surgeon sentenced for his girlfriend's overdose death. Dr. James Ryan will spend 45 years in prison. A jury found Ryan guilty of several charges, including involuntary manslaughter in the death of Sarah Harris. Now, Harris was found dead in the home that she shared with Ryan. This was back in 2022. Investigators say that she died from an overdose on ketamine and other drugs. Now, prosecutors say that not only did Ryan supply her with the drugs, they say that he tried to cover up the crime by telling police she died by suicide. The case took a turn when Harris's sister got into her phone.
She was able to break into her phone, and looking into about 11 months of text messages between her sister and the doctor, it was very apparent that he was no longer just a boyfriend, no longer a former employer. He was now her drug dealer, and he was supplying her with drugs that ultimately would result in her life ending on that January morning.
Ryan's medical practice was in Germantown, and investigators say Harris worked at that office and was a former patient before she started dating him.
And tonight we're learning new details about what led to the shooting death of an 18-year-old college freshman on New Year's Day. Police say Ashley Hines was killed at the Embassy Suites in Friendship Heights just after 1 a.m. Monday. Her accused killer appearing in court today. Our reporter Marielle Carbone continues to follow this story for us tonight. She joins us live in our newsroom. And Marielle, the court documents give us a glimpse of what happened inside that hotel room.
They do, Chris. We are learning tonight that at least 6 people were supposed to be staying at that hotel room on New Year's Eve night, but the suspect was an uninvited guest who witnesses described as rude and as drunk. The affidavit we read through also tells us that Hines was actually packing up to leave for the night when she was shot and killed.
I want justice for my daughter and for anybody else that's going through the same thing.
For Tiffany Falden, the start of the new year is marked with tragedy as she copes with the loss of her daughter, Ashley Hines.
I know she knows God, and I know she's in a better place.
Wednesday, the family in court as Ashley's accused killer, Jelani Cousin, made his first appearance. He's charged with second-degree murder while armed.
It's senseless, and something has to be done.
According to a court affidavit, Hines and a group of friends were at the Embassy Suites Hotel on Military Road Northwest celebrating New Year's Eve. Witnesses interviewed by police say Cousin was not invited to the party, but brought by another guest. Multiple witnesses stated Cousin had a gun and was showing it inside the hotel room. They say he was trying to make sexual advances on a person at the party, and after an argument, he and others were asked to leave. Witnesses reported hearing Cousin say he would, quote, blow this spot up. He left the room, but when the door shut, 2 shots were fired through it, the bullets hitting and killing Hines.
She did not deserve it. You know, Ashley she's not a party person.
Witnesses identified Cousin as the person wearing a black jacket with white letters in this surveillance footage from the hotel. He later turned himself in to police.
But this to happen to her, we need answers. Why?
And an attorney for Cousin asked that his client be released, arguing that no one actually saw him fire the gun. The judge today did not buy that. His next court appearance is set for January 16th. Reporting in the newsroom tonight, I'm Marielle Carbone, DC News Now.
Marielle, thank you so much. Just into our newsroom, the D.C. area, the Department of Human Services now will approve the SNAP funding increase that the district council had previously approved.
And council member Zachary Parker sharing an email sent to the council from Director Lori Zeilinger.
And in that email, the director is saying that she previously did advise Mayor Muriel Bowser against using the surplus money for temporarily increasing SNAP benefits, citing, quote, budget shortfalls and workload pressures. But she now says while fiscal and administrative pressures still do exist, the DHS will now make this program work.
Now, the D.C. Council chair introduced a bill this week to sue the mayor's office if that funding was not used. It was set to be voted on this Tuesday.
New tonight, a judge has now dismissed a lawsuit that was hoping to remove former President Trump from Virginia's primary ballot. 2 activists from Hampton Roads filed the injunction to keep him off the ballot, saying Trump was in violation of the insurrection clause in the Constitution's 14th Amendment. But a federal judge dismissed this lawsuit, saying the case lacked standing, which means the 2 could not prove how Trump's presence there on the ballot would cause them any specific harm.
Happening now at 9 o'clock, there is an effort to recall Ward 6 D.C. Councilman Charles Allen. A group of D.C. residents says he is not doing enough to curb crime. Jennifer Squires is leading that push. She says while Allen has served on council, his actions open the jail doors for violent offenders while slashing the police department budget. Squires says the city is now seeing the results of his failed leadership and misguided policies. Now, we did reach out to Charles Allen's office. We have not heard back. According to D.C. law, the group will need to have at least 10% of registered voters in Ward 6 sign a petition and move forward with that recall effort.
Now to a rollover crash in Frederick, Maryland that sent 2 people to the hospital. First responders say that these 2 cars, they collided on Route 15 right near Bassford Road. You could see a helicopter there on the scene because 2 people were trapped. They had to be flown to the hospital with serious injuries. Police are still investigating what caused the drivers to lose control. And in Commanders news, the team says they are sticking with Sam Howell as quarterback Sunday against the Cowboys. It is the team's season finale. They host Dallas at 4:25. Head coach Ron Rivera made that announcement after practice today. It'll be Howell's 17th straight start to the season. He leads the NFL with 19 interceptions and has been sacked a league-high 61 times.
This time last year, I was obviously, getting ready to play my first game, and, now I have a full year kind of under my belt. But definitely just so blessed to be where I am and just to be a part of this team and a part of this organization for sure.
But Sam went out and did the things that we were hoping he would be able to do. He did some really good things. I thought he managed a couple of drives very well, very nicely, and again, want to see him get an opportunity to finish it out.
Well, Howell will be the first QB to start every game in a season since Kirk Cousins did it back in 2017.
New tonight, a star college football player from Virginia has broken records and helped to get the Michigan Wolverines to the national championship game. But his impact back home in Fauquier County, Virginia, is also incredibly significant. Northern Virginia Bureau reporter Max Marcella tells us how this hometown kid has now become a hometown hero.
Spins and scores! Blake Corum puts Michigan on top in overtime.
It was the biggest moment of the game and the biggest game of his life. Michigan's Blake Corum scoring the touchdown that ultimately sent his team to the national championship.
The fans are going crazy. Everybody's going crazy.
It was a play that will go down in history, and some would say it wasn't close to the best thing he did during winter break. Blake Corum is from Marshall, a small town in Fauquier County. His father, James, says it's one of those places where everyone knows everyone.
This community is built on hard work, dedication, sacrifice, helping one another. That's what Blake's built on.
And it's Corum walking in.
The results of the hard work seen by millions at the Rose Bowl on Monday, but helping one another. That was seen by Peaches Winston.
That was like my Christmas. You thought I was a schoolgirl at Christmas.
Winston runs the Fauquier County-based Family Shelter Services, a nonprofit that helps connect people experiencing homelessness with resources and opportunities and, in the meantime, a place to stay. And this Christmas, nearly 70 kids connected to the shelter saw their Christmas lists completed thanks to one of Santa's biggest helpers, Blake Corum, and a toy drive he held.
They were just ecstatic, and it was like, Santa remembered us. Look what Santa brought me.
And he's putting smiles on others that are less fortunate. That's way bigger than any touchdown he could ever score.
James Corum is planning to head down to Houston to watch his son and the Wolverines take on Washington in the national championship game. And we asked him, what should we be expecting in that game? And he said, anytime number 2 has the ball, something's about to happen. But regardless of how that final game ends, Winston hopes to tell this champion what his gesture means to her.
In his mind, it was just a toy, but he has shed a light on a epidemic, which is homelessness.
Reporting in Marshall, Max Marcella, DC News Now.
What an incredible guy. And there's
awesome?
Yeah, and there's more because Blake also hosts a football camp in Marshall, Virginia for kids of all ages. And then over on the college campus in Ann Arbor, Michigan, he gives away turkeys at Thanksgiving, toys at Christmas to families in need.
Pretty incredible. Regardless, win or lose down in Houston National Championship, Blake is a winner in life.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Just
yes,
fantastic.
our hero.
He
Absolutely.
certainly is.